What if quitting your day job as a producer and DJ wasn't about chasing gigs or waiting for labels to bet on you?
Oh, streaming has fit into my life in so many beautiful ways. It is my day job now. My entire life revolves around my label, playing on Twitch and playing live gigs and producing. The kind of freedom to be able to have this as my job is just insane.
Meet Naiad, a Bay Area producer and DJ whose music has charted on Beatport across multiple genres. She's released on respected labels and built a global community through her live streams on Twitch, and at the same time started her own label.
I now have friends all over the world in music. It's amazing. I never would have met them otherwise.
And yes, she was able to quit her day job and do music full time, but not by climbing the ladder the music industry usually lays out.
I also think that people go into it not treating it like a business, and you have to. This is a business, even if it is your passion and you are having fun and you're living your dream.
So in this video, I'm walking you through Naiad's journey, the ups, the challenges, and the key takeaways so you can use it to shape your own path. By the time live streaming entered the picture for Naiad, the work and her music was already underway. But if you think you have to be polished to start, you're missing the real magic of live streaming. So what pushed you to start live streaming your DJ sets?
When I started live streaming, I wasn't even doing it on my own channel. And I somehow missed the boat through all of the pandemic, everybody hopping on to Twitch and having a career while we were all not able to go out. And so she started having me over and I was like, this is incredible. And her community was so loyal. And then I did a couple of Desert Heart streams and a couple of those peaked at 13,000, 14,000 viewers. And I was like, what is this? I am missing out and I need to figure this out. And I had never held a mic in my life. I mean, I come from the warehouse scene and stuff, and that was so crazy. But I finally got what I realize now is a very janky webcam and just kind of started. And I started doing it part-time for a year and a half while I kept my day job. Yeah. And I mean, it just kept getting more magical. The community, as you know, on there is priceless.
Her beginning wasn't polished.
It was very uncomfortable to do. At the start, I didn't like talking on a mic while I mixed. I didn't understand the format of chat, mic, and playing, and having to be a personality that was more than the energy you bring to your music. And that was really confusing.
And that discomfort, it matters, because this is where a lot of DJs get stuck when they think about Twitch. They resist the mic. They resist interaction. They think it's all about being a clown. But what I want to show you is there are so many ways to succeed as a DJ on Twitch. And what Naiad learned early on was that live streaming isn't just about playing music. It's about letting people be present while the work is happening. It's like inviting people into your creative kitchen, not just serving the finished meal. And once that clicks, everything else starts to change. And I wonder, are you willing to let people in even when it feels awkward? That's where the real connection and community begins. Here's the thing. If you want to get better faster, streaming is the ultimate accelerator. Once Naiad made streaming a consistent habit, the change was undeniable.
The things that I know how to do with this now, I had no idea how to do before, but now I have streamed for thousands of hours.
That speed came from volume. She wasn't repeating the same set. She was expanding the edges of her craft.
The whole 10,000 hour theory of perfecting an art. We're doing that so quickly by streaming. I've streamed so many different genres, and that's taught me different styles of mixing to integrate. So, I mean, I don't think I ever would have evolved that way and gotten more creative. I think I would have kind of stayed in my techno lane.
Day after day, she was putting in the reps that most DJs only get in short bursts.
There are some talented DJs that have learned to DJ on Twitch, and they're putting in so many more hours than anybody I know in real life because of Twitch. And so they're getting so good so fast. And if you can overlook the mic and the silly costumes and stuff, you'll get down to some incredibly talented people,
Thousands of hours changes your relationship to the craft. At a certain point, what you practice on stream starts showing up everywhere else. Your mixing, your production, your confidence. It's like going from weekend warrior to daily athlete. Your progress explodes. And once those skills carried over, the question stopped being, is this working? It became, can this actually support my work as an artist? Here's the thing. If you think going full-time as a creative is about one big break, you're missing the real story. For a long time, nothing about this felt dramatic. Naiad was still producing, still streaming consistently, but the day job was still there.
Had a job, got a job offer that was like offering me more money, went to that job while I was also starting to full-time stream at that point because I was trying to figure out what that could look like sustainably financially if I was full-time. So I was working about 80 hours a week. It took me 2 years before I started making money that I could consider an income on Twitch. That also was due to the irregularity of my streams and the length of my streams. I was not treating it like a business yet because I didn't understand what that business looked like.
Nothing changed overnight, but the pressure did. And eventually, the day job stopped being necessary. Not because of one big win, but because the system she built could finally carry the weight. And if this story is making you curious about live streaming, I've linked a few things that can help you get started. Now, once that pressure lifted for her, the focus shifted. It wasn't just about sustaining the work anymore, it was about who she was building it with. What mattered most didn't show up in analytics, it showed up in names.
I now have friends all over the world in music. It's amazing. I never would have met them otherwise.
That line sounds simple, but it changes everything. Because this wasn't about followers or numbers going up. It was about building a real community that has your back.
And I was able to pour so much more into this extremely intimate and loyal community that I had been building and working so hard for that holds so much value to an artist. Our communities that we build on Twitch are actual communities. They're not just fans. They're people that know you and know how hard you work and know what your journey looks like. And so when you release the product, the music, they genuinely care. Yeah, they truly care about you and not just like your image or being in the booth or, you know, like the things that kind of come with just playing stage shows. There's still a disconnect between you and a fan that is different than the connection that you have with a community that spends so much time with you.
And if you are a DJ who live streams, let me know in the comments how amazing your community is. Give them a shout out, although I must say I have the best, bushiest, and filthiest community. So Naiad Stream doesn't function like a stage where people pass through. It functions like a room that people return to over and over again. Let's talk about your community.
I love them.
I know. They are pretty great.
I've never been gassed up so much in my life. I've never felt so like cool. Also, you know, like we're all just, I know like as artists and stuff, we have like our personas and the way we dress and we look super cool, but we're all fucking nerds and most of us have social anxiety and all of those things. And to have a community that you get live feedback from and that kind of support from it's incredible. And it takes away some of the imposter syndrome that we get sometimes being alone in our studios and making things and like, oh my God, is this trash? They're incredible. And then of course, you know, the support of having people who are so invested in your journey buy a track in a single day. You know, the last release I had on a different label, we immediately shot to number 3, day 1 on the overall charts. And they were like, what did you do? And I was like, I streamed, you know, that's my lagoon. And they're just there for me and they show up every single time. And, you know, even when I've needed a new piece of gear or something and it's like, oh man, should I do it? Like, they always show up and they're like, you need this to make music, like we'll help fund it. You know, they're just like pivotal to everything I've done. And when I'm struggling mentally with my process or feeling discouraged or anything, they always pick me back up and put me back on my feet and say, you're awesome. You're the core of what we're doing here and you're why we show up. And, you know, remembering that is just, okay, I'll go make something else, you know.
And that room started doing real things.
I've gotten bookings across the country because of Twitch. I decided to start self-releasing, and in order to self-release, especially on like Beatport and stuff, you have to have a label registered. So I was like, well, you know, I'm just going to do that and self-release my own things and see what I can build up. And then, you know, with Bandcamp and stuff, see if maybe I could have some residual income every month as people find my channel and maybe get my catalog. And that started working really well. My entire life revolves around my label, playing on Twitch and playing live gigs and producing
None of that required permission, no label approval, no industry blessing, just proximity, trust, and time spent together.
Kind of feel like the IRL industry is still kind of seeing Twitch as like a gaming space, and there are some talented DJs that have learned to DJ on Twitch, and they're putting in so many more hours than anybody I know in real life.
Community didn't just change how her music was received. It changed how she thought about ownership.
Yeah, Missing Brontosaurus. I was releasing with other labels and realized that what I had on Twitch was really benefiting them. They were charting because of my community, and the push that I had and the outreach that I had was something that I could use to support myself. You know, when you release with other labels and stuff, and it's nothing on them because they have to recoup their costs and everything, but you don't end up seeing a lot of money once they spend the money that comes in.
That realization matters because for the first time, she could see the infrastructure she had built. Not followers, not hype, but actual leverage. So she stopped borrowing infrastructure and built her own. That shift was about alignment. Owning the release, owning the relationship, and owning the long tail of the work. When people hear live streaming, they usually imagine performance or gaming or trying to entertain strangers on the internet. But if that's all you see, you're missing the real superpower of streaming.
This space is one that we can use to grow our art. It's like a radio station. You know, I do mic-less days, and that is kind of my radio show. And I get recordings, and people can listen to me fully concentrating on mixing and not talking. And there's just so much potential here for us as artists IRL. I think that DJs and producers and promoters and stuff in the IRL industry who maybe didn't partake in Twitch during COVID, or they did for a second, but then they just immediately dashed back out and left it because that was just their like temporary solution. I think they see Twitch as like, you have to have a mic and you have to wear costumes.
And that's the part many people miss.
I also think so much of that industry, forgive me for saying this, anybody watching, but like, and I did too, we took ourselves too fucking seriously. Like everything has to be so serious, and you have to be so somber and cool and knowledgeable and hide this track, or, you know, there's a lot of gatekeeping, and if you don't look a certain way and act a certain way, you probably don't belong, which is absolutely ludicrous too, because if you look at like the formation of raves, they were a safe place for all the weirdos to go and to be bright and to wear candy or wear black and be goth and be gay or be androgynous or be whoever you were and be accepted for being silly or serious. And somehow that is moved into these little subgenres of underground that are so serious that they look at streaming and judge because people are having fun and being silly.
Live streaming didn't change what she worked on. It changed how often she could work.
The kind of like freedom to be able to have this as my job is just insane. I get to set my own schedule. I practice for work.
This isn't about growth hacks or algorithms or building an audience fast. It's about building skill density, packing more reps, more learning, and more progress into less time.
Things that I know how to do with this now, I had no idea how to do before, but now I have streamed for thousands of hours.
See, streaming isn't just practice, it's total immersion. It's like moving to a country where everyone speaks a new language. You pick it up way faster than just taking one class a week. Every hour you spend live is another hour you're living in the language of DJing. Once you see streaming this way, the question changes. It's no longer, will this work for me? It's, am I willing to use it like this? Now, in streaming, there's a hot take that does come up a lot.
What do you say to the people who say women have it easier on Twitch?
Oh, fuck off. I mean, you go open my DMs and deal with that, please. First of all, just on the surface starter. Yeah, the amount of disrespect given to women, and especially like, let's leave the DJ category for a second because it's challenging being a woman in the music industry, period.
This isn't just about Twitch. It's about how women are treated in music all the time. And the criticism doesn't just stop at skill.
Women on Twitch, period. Oh my gosh. Like everyone questions everything, you know, and I do also kind of, if I can just go off for a second here, art is supposed to make you feel things. It's supposed to be self-expression. It's supposed to make you uncomfortable sometimes, or make you inspired, or turn you on or turn you off. Like, it's supposed to do all of those things depending on the artist. And if an artist is a beautiful sexual woman, that's her art. That's who she is. And how dare you criticize that? You don't criticize these shirtless DJs playing on the beach that are men that are jacked. Like, they're sexualizing themselves. We're not talking about that. Yeah, it is not easier to be a woman, and still the top streamers overall, a lot of them are men. And a lot of the largest DJ streamers are men as well. So it's not like there's an inequality in where we're ending up being placed just because we look prettier on camera.
So what can you take from this story? My mission is to inspire more DJs and producers to try live streaming, because I've seen how it can change people's lives. I mean, it totally changed mine. My hope is that live streaming becomes a real, respected category for DJs, right up there with club DJ or mobile or wedding DJ. Live streaming your DJ sets can open doors you never expected. New fans, new friends, new opportunities, and a whole new way to share your sound. And if you want another angle on carving your own lane with live streaming, go watch my interview with Pete Fox next. Who knows? This might be the start of your own story.